All right, we're only 1 month into Trump's term, and the attacks on the media have already far surpassed what we saw the first time around. And that's because they see a pulse in their resistance. Their resistance has been growing, so Trump and the people around him have been doubling down on suppressing the media. This is a really good example. House Republicans have been hitting the brakes on their town halls after they've been getting blowback over Trump and Elon Musk. You guys have all seen the videos. I've played the videos multiple times. Republican lawmakers get screamed at. They get asked questions, very valid questions at their town halls. And when they're actually held accountable, they kind of just crumble on camera. So now they are kind of pausing the town halls. They are crumbling. They are suppressing the ability for their constituents to have their voice heard. And it just reminds me of the Trump admin, the Trump White House in particular, banning certain types of media. The Trump White House now wants to take control of the media apparatus. You know, we'll break this all down and we'll break down how it relates to my job. All that I ask is that you drop a like, subscribe. We're so close to 1 million. Go check how close we are to 1 million subscribers. But let's just start here. I made a video a few months back where Trump did this press conference and he was saying that he can't rule out suing creators, digital creators online, whether it's TikTok or YouTube or whatever platform you may choose. They could go after creators. And it's not even about suing somebody and taking away their entire platform. Of course, that's happened, and that's worst case scenario, but it's about creating this chilling effect. So if Trump can sue somebody or sue some account who dissents slightly, and say that small creator doesn't have the backing or the apparatus to push back, it could drain them. I don't have the money. I certainly do not have the money to fight a 4-month lawsuit, if it's even that short, if I'm lucky enough to have it only be 4 months. And then after all of the money, after all of the time spent, the opportunity costs, maybe I get audited. I mean, there are small ways that can go after creators, and David Pakman made a really good video about this lately. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I'm just going to say we are rapidly moving towards a reality where the chilling effect hits digital media. And the chilling effect can be seen right here. So a court ruling let the White House ban the Associated Press for now, after the Associated Press was not allowed in the White House press room because they wouldn't say Gulf of America. You guys have heard the story, but after that, the White House decided to double down. They decided to strike back again on AP, and the White House took over the press pool coverage entirely. So that means there's no external source of news there. There's not going to be any external oversight into the White House. It's only going to be Trump-aligned media. I mean, you need external validation when he's doing these massive bills, these massive spending bills or tax cuts. And if you're going to say that Medicaid is not cut, but you're only going to have Real America's Voice and Sean Hannity in there to ask questions, we're never going to know anything about Medicaid or Medicare being cut. Spoiler alert, they're most likely cutting Medicaid and Medicare. Go watch my last video about how it's mathematically impossible for them not to. But either way, the Trump White House is trying to short circuit the Associated Press's lawsuit against it by altering decades-old protocols over which news outlets can access the president at meetings and events when space is limited. And this is all because the AP decided to dissent. Just think about it for 1 second. A news organization like the Associated Press with decades and decades of portfolio, like they're top tier. The Associated Press is top tier. They have top tier access to the White House, which they deserve. And then they dissent slightly. They dissent against the president's wish, this arbitrary executive order that says the Gulf of Mexico is now the Gulf of America, which no other country recognizes other than just Google Maps in the United States, I guess. They say, no, we're going to call it the Gulf of Mexico. That's what it's always been called. And they lose their access because they dissent. That creates this chilling effect. It creates this incentive structure for other news organizations to never, ever dissent and to always fall in line. And this chilling effect that I keep referring to is what's likely going to hit the digital media at some point when one YouTuber or another is inevitably struck down or the Trump admin goes after them. But moving forward, the White House press pool will be determined by the White House press team when it used to be determined by an entirely separate org, the White House Correspondents Association, which allowed there to be, a bipartisan team choosing which organizations get to go in. So say Newsmax gets a day in the White House, but also make sure Reuters and the Associated Press, maybe even BBC and CNN and Fox News. I mean, you can have a wide array of reporters. I know we don't like Fox News, but we can have a wide array of reporters in the White House without arbitrarily blocking news orgs that aren't Trump aligned. And that brings me to this. Trump is threatening to sue the media over stories he doesn't like, and he's doing this time and time again. I keep going back to this anchor term where I say the chilling effect. He's creating a chilling effect, but it really is real. How many lawsuits have we covered over the past few months, whether it's him suing 60 Minutes, getting a settlement, he sued ABC News, he got a settlement, he sued MSNBC, he sued CNN, he sued every single news organization in the past, and he's well within his right to do so. But it gets a little bit scary when all of them settle conveniently after he takes the White House, because he's clearly exerting the executive power that he has. President Donald Trump is on the warpath again, this article reads, this time railing against the media and publishers whose stories he doesn't like. He took to his platform Truth Social to suggest that any negative press is a result of the left-wing media attacking him for the, quote, best opening month of a presidency the U.S. has ever seen in terms of what? You didn't end the Ukraine war like you promised. In fact, you were weirdly Russia aligned and you voted with Russia. Prices didn't go down. You unironically freed a bunch of criminals into our streets in the form of the January 6th insurrectionists. And this article reads, amid a flurry of discontent for his apparent press crackdown, Trump fought back continually. But it's the amount of, number one, attacks on Truth Social that he levies that are just all caps attacks. Listen to what he said here. At some point, I'm going to sue some of these dishonest authors and book publishers, or even the media in general, to find out whether or not these anonymous sources even exist, which they largely do not. Trump raged on a Wednesday Morning Post. This dude is always having a temper tantrum. It's comical. It's comical and it's scary, because whatever he's doing works messaging-wise, I guess. But at the same time, he then said, quote, they are made up, defamatory fiction, and a big price should be paid for this blatant dishonesty. I'll do it as a service to our country. Who knows? Maybe we'll create some nice new law. Now that is scary. He said, maybe we will create some nice new law. It's going to be like the anti-attacking the president law or the pro-Trump law, where again, he's going to create the incentive structure for media organizations to only align with his word. And I don't know if I've talked about this here, but not us. No matter what happens, no matter what we are drugged through, every single day we are going to be pushing back. We are going to be exposing stuff because we are now the resistance. And as much as it hurts, as much as the first month has been sort of grim when it comes to Elon Musk and Trump attacking the media, there is hope. I mean, again, House Republicans had so much pressure put on them that they had to pause their town halls because these new tax cuts are rubbing people the wrong way. The town halls, the rash of negative headlines have been the first bit of public blowback for Republican members who face voters just next year. And the new reluctance to hold any more town halls indicates there are bubbling concerns about the impact the cuts could have on the GOP's chances of holding its thin majority. And we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. There's still a lot of work, but I mean, we can do the work. If there's anybody who can do it, it's us. I just want to end off with this article. Jeff Bezos exerts more control of Washington Post opinion, says focus will be on, quote, personal liberties and free markets. And in that, you can read between the lines, right? I'm all for free markets. I'm all for, free trade or for competition between certain businesses or entities. Competition is good. It breeds innovation. Free markets are fine. But when you say personal liberties and free markets, 1 month into Trump's second term, it's very, very clear that Jeff Bezos is trying to garner favorability with Trump. Jeff Bezos is now exerting more influence over the content of the Washington Post. Surprise, surprise. Just another organization which, every once in a while they have a good story, not like the opinion pieces, but every once in a while they have a solid article, fact-wise. But if Jeff Bezos is really going to be stripping away the independents in the same way that Elon Musk bought Twitter and stripped away the independents, then yeah, YouTube really is the last sanctuary. That's why I love having you guys here. YouTube is a great platform. Nobody has been able to suppress us on YouTube, knock on wood. Bezos made it clear that alternate views will not appear on the pages. Quote, we'll cover other topics too, of course, said Bezos, but viewpoints opposing those pillars will be left to be published by others, meaning other papers. So that is pretty wild. I'm going to leave it at that. At a time when the media is under attack, I'm very glad to have you guys. Make sure you drop a like, subscribe. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. So close to 1 million. We're so close. Go check below how close we are. Peace out.